live and you're getting ads through Outlook.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so they released and I'll show it to you. Konami released a Metal Gear Solid collection that has Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, and 3 in it.
Okay.
And, like when we talked about 1998, I had Metal Gear Solid as one of my top 5 games because I love Metal Gear Solid.
Oh, yeah, the first one was. You might need to send it to me again, play.
Connect. Josh J. Lindsay with an E 0913.
Wait, did we talk about 1998?
Thought we did. Maybe we didn't.
94 and 89.
94 and 89?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well then. I don't know why I was talking about Metal Gear Solid. Anyways, I love Metal Gear Solid. So, I got the collection.
Okay. Did you say it was the first 3?
Mm-hmm.
What's the second one? Sons of the Patriots?
Sons of Liberty.
Sons of Liberty. Sons of the Patriots might be like a far-right extremist group. And the third one was Snake Eater?
Snake Eater.
Yeah.
And it had that James Bond song on it. Like, whoa, Snake Eater. So
It still ain't popped up in my inbox.
J Lindsay 0913 at Gmail, right?
That's it.
Lindsay with an E, right?
Fuck off.
I'm being serious. Make sure.
No, it's Lindsay with the A. I thought you were joking.
Oh,
This shit should be saved in.
that's why I got it wrong.
Ah, Lindsay with an E. Those are hood rats, man.
Some other
poor bastard
with the same email.
is getting in on this fucking podcast with us. He's like, yeah, I'll join. There we go. Finally. Lindsay with an E. Okay. Here we go.
All right. I'm about to mute in Discord. Bam. Muted.
Hang on. I am about to mute as well. There we go.
Boom. Roasted. Oh, man. Oh. I don't know why I'm just so, worried about talking about this movie.
I am too. Because, I told you briefly, this isn't going to be a good episode. Not say anything about the movie. It's like me and you. It's like we didn't take a bunch of notes. And there's obviously things to discuss in this. Obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we're the two people equipped to talk about it, though.
Probably not. Probably not. We are probably going to fuck this up.
Yeah, and it's not even like this movie deals with, heavy meaning. I don't know. I am worried.
Oh, well. Well.
Oh, well, whatever. Fuck it.
I was actually about to start the intro, and then I realized I didn't even have it set up to record.
I got this shit backwards.
All right. Now we're ready. Now.
I'll tell you what, just to preamble a little bit while we're on Twitch, because me and you were supposed to just do this on Twitch a couple of weeks ago, and it got late. it's late for me and early for you. What yada yada yada, and we can't just go through a little bit because it's going to go to waste if we don't. The AV Club did a list of the 25 best cover songs of all time.
Oh well, let's get this on the podcast.
Yeah, because Tenebrae is going to be 10 minutes.
It's gonna fluff it out a little bit.
Yeah.
Gonna add a little content for us. All right, here we go. Welcome to Very Unreasonable Things. I'm Billy Bone, and I'm joined by Josh Lindsay.
With an A. Thank you.
With an A.
Howdy, howdy.
All right,
Lindsay with an A.
Lindsay with an A. And I don't know why I got that backwards today. All these years. All these years.
All these emails that you've sent me to join CleanFeed.
Yeah, all these emails. You know, one time, I just straight up forgot my fucking PIN number on my debit card. This is about 9 years ago. Just out of the blue. Forgot my PIN number, could not remember it to save my life. Had to call the bank and get it from them.
Yep. I've got 2 PIN numbers I have to remember because I got my American account and my Swedish account. I made my American account one that I'll never forget. And it's not like a birthday,
Yeah.
but it's perfect. And I wanted to do that to my Swedish account, but I haven't. So there are times when like I'll be paying with my Swedish card and they'll be like, well, you have to put in your PIN number. And there's like a 2-second freeze of me like back sweating. Like I don't remember it. I should. You don't pay on your phone?
Nah, not usually.
Do you have it set up?
I do, but I don't do it. I'm in the process of changing banks. Also, there's no trust marks here for me to be able to walk into.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going with a bank that's local.
A little bit more local. Yeah. But anyway.
So we're gonna talk about Tenebrae, but before we get to that, Tenebrae being the second movie in our Giallo block of episodes, and after this we got one more, and then we'll move on to something.
Have you chosen that?
That our feeble minds can comprehend.
We're going to the Fast and Furious movies.
I was leaning Suspiria, but I'm thinking maybe Deep Red instead.
Okay, staying with Argento.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This, I might go Deep Red. Just because I'm pretty sure you haven't seen it yet.
I have not, no. And we both seen Suspiria.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you seen Deep Red?
I have one time.
Okay. Yeah. And then we got to start thinking about, or I got to start thinking about the next block. It is funny, though, because I wanted to mention this to you. Like, this next block, it's my turn. I'll pick. I do hope we circle back to Giallo again.
Yeah.
I think, obviously, there's a lot to cover, but with this and New York Ripper, man, they giving you something, man. They giving you something, and it's yeah. We'll get into it, but just give me 2 seconds, right quick. When you just vamp for a minute.
Oh yeah, here we go with this again. So, like I said, we're going to talk about Tenebrae, but before we get into Tenebrae, there was something else we were going to talk about. We were going to do an episode and talk about it, and we didn't. God damn, that's a lot of noise. We didn't do it yet, so we're going to cover the AV Club's top 25 cover songs?
Best cover songs. Yeah, ranked. Yeah. It's just it's less. It's definitely less decisive than the horror movie villains.
And I'm assuming we're not going to go through them all individually like we did the horror movie villains.
No, not individually. We still got 10 minutes to talk about Tenebrae that we got to
Yeah.
save.
So same as the horror villains list. I have not seen this list. Josh is the only person that's seen this list, so reactions from me will be genuine.
Yeah. And there's, I don't want to speak for you, but there's some on here that I haven't heard. Not many, but there's a couple here that are blind spots for me. But do you want to try to guess number one?
Proud Mary by Tina Turner.
I'll tell you what. That made the list, but number 22.
That's lower than I thought it would have been because people were really high on that cover.
Should be higher. Yeah, that song's going to live forever. That cover will.
Yeah.
It's a deceased artist, part of the 27 Club.
Oh, was it? Where did you sleep last night?
Didn't make the list.
Oh, really? Wow.
No.
Or was it Jimi Hendrix All Along the Watchtower?
That's it.
Well, that's a good cover. I don't know how you feel about it, but I like that cover.
It's hard to separate it from it being overplayed.
Yeah.
It is a good cover. If I never hear it again, that'll be okay too. But I don't know. There's part of me though that I push back on it because I still love the Bob Dylan cover.
Yeah.
But yeah, and number two, I kind of have qualms with, but I haven't done the proper research on this either, though. But number two is
Wait a minute. Why are we starting with
okay.
number two?
Okay.
Like the bottom of the list is I'm gonna be worried about it because we started at the top.
All right. Well, let's just see if you could take one more guess. See if it's on the list, and then I'll just run down these.
Live and Let Die by GNR.
No. Okay.
Okay.
25 is a song I haven't heard. I'm sure it's pretty good, but it's Husker Du, 8 Miles High. It's a Birds cover. Husker Du is one of these 80s new wave alternative bands.
I know who they are.
Okay.
I don't know that. I haven't heard that song though.
No, if I have, I don't recall it right now.
Yeah.
Number 24 is Thin Lizzy, Rosalie, which is a Bob Seger cover. 23, I think if I was putting together this list and I just had to look at it, unbiased, it probably should be number one. And I love this song. So even if I was making a personal list, it would probably be up there. But it's Whitney Houston, I Will Always Love You.
Yeah. Let me take one more stab at number two real quick because I just thought of a song.
Okay.
Blinded by the Light.
Nope. That's kind of bullshit. Because that is a cover that most people think Manfred Mann wrote, which makes it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the version people know. People don't know the Bruce Springsteen version. All right,
I know.
One more guess.
Okay.
With a little help from my friends.
I thought that did make it. Let me check my list. No.
They didn't make
That's
the list.
crazy. No. That's crazy.
That's the fucking song of the Wonder Years. Okay.
Yeah.
This list might be shiesty.
Well, I kind of agree because I Will Always Love You's number 23. Okay, that song sold a billion copies. 22, Proud Mary. 21, Jeff Buckley, Hallelujah. Way down in the 20s. Whatever. Number 20 is, I can say this like pretty confidently, probably is the most beloved cover song of the past 20 years.
What's that?
He died an old man, and the original artist actually came out and said he prefers his version, the old man's version.
Hurt.
Yeah. Top 20, man. Like, that song is huge. Because, look, once we get to, like,
That
there's some in here.
revitalized Cash.
Oh, God, yeah. I mean, it made him hip in a younger generation's eyes. And that was before I Walked the Line, you know?
Yeah.
19 is The Clash, I Fought the Law. It's originally a Sonny Curtis. 18 is a good one. It's Urge Overkill, Girl, You'll Be a Woman Soon. Originally Neil Diamond.
Yeah. That's a good one.
17 is Blondie, Hanging on the Telephone, originally by The Nerves. I mean, that's a good one. And then we'll go to 16, Pet Shop Boys, Always on My Mind. I have not heard that. I'm curious. You know, Willie made that song famous, but that was originally an Elvis song.
No, was it?
Yeah. 15, The Beatles, Twist and Shout.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Because I forgot that's not theirs.
It's the Isley Brothers. And then we'll go with a song I have not heard. I don't know how I've not heard it. I've been meaning to check it out. I've yet to check it out. Now I'm looking at it. I'm going to have to check it out tonight. It's 14, Stevie Wonder, We Can Work It Out, a Beatles cover.
Yeah.
Sign me up for that. I have no problem with number 13, The Band, at all. Both me and you are fans of them. But I have a problem with this song being higher than some of these that we've mentioned. It's REM's Superman by The Click originally.
I've never heard it. The only Superman song I've heard is like Goldfinger.
And Five for Fighting, motherfucker. It ain't easy.
I never listened to Five for Fighting.
That song was everywhere in 2002, man.
I was off the grid.
Yeah, way off it.
I just make shit up.
Off the grid.
Yeah.
There was barely a grid in 2001.
And I wasn't on it.
You wasn't on it. I was. Fucking waking up, watching VH1.
Well, when I say the only Superman song I know, also I mean song titled Superman, because obviously like there's Our Lady Peace with Superman's Dead, and
What's another one?
I don't know. That was all I could think.
There's got to be a lot, right? You could probably make an album out of Superman titles.
Jimmy Olsen Blues.
Yeah, who did?
That was Spin Doctors, wasn't it?
Oh, I have no idea. Like, how are you not knowing Five for Fighting, but you know Jimmy Olsen Blues by Spin Doctors? That makes sense. Coming off that album, Pocket Full of Kryptonite.
Yeah. Thomas had it. My buddy Thomas. Well, you know Thomas. He had that Spin Doctors album. He was a Spin Doctors guy. I never listened to the whole album. I just remember that song being on there.
I mean, Two Princes and Little Miss Can't Be Wrong. I mean, those are good songs. I mean, people kind of get embarrassed by it now, but fuck off. They're good.
Yeah.
They're good.
They were catchy.
Yeah. Two Princes is fucking. That's up there. With like. It's not as good as What's the Frequency, Kenneth, but they're sort of in the same, sport.
No, I love What's the Frequency, Kenneth.
I do too. God damn, I love that song. Okay, moving on. 12 is Van Halen, You Really Got Me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
11 is Talking Heads, Take Me to the River. 10 is Devo, I Can't Get No Satisfaction. 9 is Janis Joplin, Me and Bobby McGee. That tracks. 8 is Amy Winehouse and Mark Ronson, Valerie. 7 is Run DMC, Walk This Way.
Yeah.
Yeah. 6 is Harry Nilsson, Without You. 5 is Aretha Franklin, Respect. 4, did not know it was a cover. This shocked me. Elvis Costello, What's So Funny About Peace, Love, and Understanding. No idea. It's from Armed Forces. 2 is The Kingsmen, Louie Louie.
No.
Okay. And number 2, this is what I have a little problem with. It's Sinead O'Connor, Nothing Compares to You. The reason why I have a problem with it is because, and I might be wrong, I don't think Prince recorded that till after she put it out. He wrote it. He absolutely wrote it.
You could have probably had 2 Prince songs on here, though, because you could have had Manic Monday.
True that. He gave it to the Bengals because he had a thing for, what's her name?
Belinda Carlisle?
Was Susanna Hoffman in there as well? He had a thing for her.
Oh.
Yeah, he's like, here's Manic Monday.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and tell you, when I was younger, Belinda Carlisle, that was a celebrity
No.
crush.
Look, yeah, I mean, the same for me, but with Susanna Hoffman. And I think, yeah, because she's all up in the Walk Like an Egyptian video, just looking perfect. She makes cover albums now with Matthew Sweet.
Matthew Sweet.
Yeah, they're pretty good covers. They've got like 5 albums out. It's just called Undercover. But I would say I prefer Nothing Compares to You to All Along the Watchtower, personally.
Yeah, I can see that.
But yeah, the list is it's not, like I said, it's not egregious as the villain list. Here's some that I wrote down. Not personal lists, because I didn't have time for that. That would have definitely made my 25. But Cyndi Lauper, Girls Just Want to Have Fun. Mm-hmm. It's a cover. Fucking love that song. Obviously, and this is a Reddit favorite, and it's good. It's Gary Jules' Mad World from Donnie Darko. Naked Eyes, Always Something There to Remind Me. It's a cover. And Tainted Love by Soft Cell. It's a cover. It could have made the top 25. But with a little help from my friends, it's probably like the big one missing here.
How do you feel about Marilyn Manson's Sweet Dreams cover?
Oh, well, I mean, it'd probably be top 10 if I'm making a personal list.
Yeah, I just thought about that one getting lift off.
Yep.
Because, I mean, that was really a launching point for him.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially off that album that had only like 4 real songs. It's kind of amazing. Marilyn Manson canceled, though, so he wasn't going to make the list. But yeah. There's a lot.
This AV club and their list. We're here to judge you.
I know. But, there's some pretty good goddamn songs on here. Me and Bobby McGee, Girl, You'll Be a Woman Soon, Respect by Aretha Franklin, which I think Rolling Stone did a list of their, like, favorite, greatest songs ever. And I think Respect was up there. But that's Rolling Stone. Their lists fucking suck. They had Joni Mitchell as one of the top 20 greatest guitarists of all time.
Really?
Just recently. Yeah. Joni Mitchell. I love Joni Mitchell, but are you fucking kidding me?
Well, you remember when we talked about their top 500 songs, and I had complained because Stand By Me wasn't in the top 10 or top 5. And what was it? Royals was number 30. And I don't dislike Royals, but it's not better than Stand By Me.
Royals.
By Lord.
I'm sure I've heard it. It doesn't ring a bell. But that's is that Stan's dad?
Yeah. Yeah. Randy
Yeah.
Marsh.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was going to make that joke, but I didn't know if you'd get it. I didn't know if you'd seen those episodes where he was Lord.
I think that might be the last current episodes I've seen. This shit's pretty funny.
Like Randy Marsh is in everything. If something new's happening, Randy Marsh is a part of it.
It's crazy how he became like the best character, and I'm assuming I know like PC Coach was
I know PC
pretty
Principal.
funny. PC Principal, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, this show's so good. I don't know how you dislike South Park.
Yeah. I don't know.
Josh keeps pushing his mute button.
Yeah, man. Sorry.
So,
Yep. Oh God.
Tenebrae,
Yeah.
1982, 101 minutes. Directed by one Dario Argento, starring Anthony Francoisa? As
I have
Peter
to look
Neal.
it up. Yeah.
John Saxon is Bulmer, and Daria Nicoldi is Anne, and that's all I wrote down. I didn't know any of these actors until I saw John Saxon. He popped up, and I'm like, "Hey, it's that guy from that thing. I know him."
Yeah. I mean, we're going to be talking about John Saxon again here soon. But, yeah, me and you, I fucked up. And I watched this movie on Last Drive-In, and you chose not to. So there are a lot of things Joe Bob says that luckily are on the Wikipedia page, so I don't feel like I'm ripping off Joe Bob. I couldn't resist
Breaking news. Josh is about to plagiarize his whole episode.
the entire thing. But yeah, so I'm gonna try to refrain from it. A lot of this shit's on Wikipedia, though. But yeah, this movie was released. This movie, it was made in '82. It wasn't released until '84
In the States, yeah.
in the States. Again, because it's Giallo. It was a video nasty in the UK. They did not put up with violence like that. But, yeah, in Tenebrae, it was released in the States under the name Unsane. but Tenebrae means darkness in Latin. So,
Yes, I remember reading all this on the Wikipedia page too.
okay, well, we'll just fucking let's just pull up the Wikipedia page,
Real quick though, before we move on, let's talk about John Saxon for a second.
please.
Did John Saxon do any karate in any movies that he was in outside of Enter the Dragon?
I can't answer that.
I feel like he probably wouldn't have died in Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3 if he had hit that Freddy skeleton with a swift front kick to the skull.
That would have helped.
You've seen Enter the Dragon, right?
Not all of it.
Oh my
Not all of
god!
it.
When you said I knew that was a no.
I've seen like the last fight scene, and I know John Saxon's in it.
Did you see his fight scene? Like he takes out one of the main characters in the movie, Bolo Young.
He's a good guy, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, he is.
Is it impressive? Like his fighting?
I don't think so. I'm trying to remember. It's been a while since I've seen it. I just was wondering though. Like I said, I can't remember him doing karate in any other movie.
No, from what Joe Bob said, he was like a character actor. He came up through the New York something theater, and he was pretty method. And I'm sure I said this on the Nightmare on Elm Street episode, but he has this Jared Leto type of face. I don't know if it's the eyebrows and the eyes, but there is some Jared Leto vibes he gives off. And even in this.
Now that you say it, I could see it.
Yeah. And he's funny in this. He's not funny in Nightmare, He's a drunk in Nightmare 3. That's funny. Everybody likes drunks.
A lovable scamp.
Yeah. But yeah, and the music is Goblin.
It's not Goblin.
3 members.
3 members of Goblin.
Members of Goblin.
They couldn't use the name Goblin because the drummer owned the name.
Yep, and he's not on this. Yeah. But the music still fucking rules in this.
Yeah.
It's so goddamn good.
It is.
And Argento was coming off. He was in a weird period in his career because Suspiria was like a hit. It was his big hit. Mm-hmm. And then Inferno kind of bombed. And so he's making this as a sort of like to answer his critics, I guess, who were complaining about his movies and giallo movies and slasher movies. This is according to Joe Bob Briggs.
Yeah.
No, I'm just playing. Yeah, a little bit. But
God damn it.
well, let me ask you this: when you turned it on, did you have any idea what this movie was about?
I think the first time I watched it was actually the Last Drive-In version.
Oh, so you'd seen it before?
Yeah.
Oh shit! I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you knew.
I'd seen this one. I'd seen Deep Red. I've seen Suspiria. So yeah, that's why I wanted to do the when we were talking about like our next block of movies. That's why I'd suggested Giallo, is because I'd seen a few. I hadn't seen the New York Ripper when I first suggested it.
It is crazy because my giallo pool is pretty fucking shallow. And coming off New York Ripper, this movie is fucking tame as fuck. It is, like Suspiria I've watched in the last few months, and Suspiria, like, is pretty tame, but there is that scene to where she falls into the razor wire. And that's pretty just visually striking.
Well, I think it's the differences between the directors, and
Yes.
Fulci's more gore.
Yeah. That's an understatement. And it's so funny. I'm going to pull this up. Speaking of Fulci, speaking of gore, I peruse Letterboxd. And like I was telling you yesterday, Mike Flanagan's on Letterboxd. And I follow Mike Flanagan. He still hasn't followed me back. We'll get into that later. And, you can make lists on Letterboxd, right?
Yeah.
And I saw where Mike Flanagan's, he made a list, and it says this, and this is, I think he made it 5 days ago. And this is Mike Flanagan's recommended gateway horror for beginners. And he says, every so often someone says to me, I really, really don't like horror movies, and I bite the inside of my cheek and smile at them. Sometimes they continue with, what horror movies would you recommend as a gentle way in, or can you recommend any horror movies for beginners that are more like real movies? In those cases, these are the movies I immediately recommend. And it's 10 of them. First one's Gremlins. Then Martyrs, Possession, Imprint, Funny Games, Last House on the Left, Antichrist, Terrifier 2, Cannibal Holocaust, and a Serbian film.
God.
I like how his first was like Gremlins, and then fuck all your senses.
Yeah, right?
It's so funny. You could tell non-horror movie fans piss them off. Like a gateway horror movie. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? What a gateway horror movie? You're either into it or you're not.
I can think of a gateway horror movie.
New York Ripper.
Yeah, that's it. That and fucking Zombie.
Yeah.
No, The Gate. The Gate.
No, not movies with the word gate in them.
No, but The Gate is essentially a horror movie for kids.
I wouldn't call that a gateway horror movie because it's a B movie that...
Oh, I didn't realize it had to be big budget.
I don't think people watch The Gate and be like, I want to watch more of this. Let me amp this up.
Oh, man. You're a hater.
I'm not. I love The Gate, but I wouldn't call that a gateway horror movie. A gateway horror movie is like Halloween. If you can handle Halloween, just take a step up from the gore, and you'll eventually get there. Because there's no gore in Halloween. And it's not an attack on your senses or anything. Gateway horror movie. The Gate.
Fuck you. I stand by it. I stand by it. You're not going to shame me.
No, I like... I bought The Gate on iTunes.
Did you?
Yeah, because I have a soft spot for it.
I'm trying to remember if I've seen The Gate 2.
Did they make a sequel?
Yes.
Did my man Steven Dorff come back?
I don't think so. I think it's on Tubi.
Yeah, of course it's on Tubi. It was probably released in the last 3 years.
Directly
Honestly.
to Tubi.
Yeah, it's a Tubi original.
Yeah, now they have one. Josh, why are you avoiding talking about Tenebrae?
I'm not.
We're 35 minutes in and we haven't said shit about Tenebrae.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about Argento and how the Goblin drummer.
Withheld the name.
Yeah. Look, okay, fine. Fuck it. Spoiler alert. I really like this movie. A lot. But I don't know where to begin in talking about this movie.
I got my first note right here. Don't worry.
Okay, let's hear it.
Rode a bike to the airport and then changed.
First off, you're introduced to your character being a fucking asshole. Love it. Riding his bike through New York City traffic.
Right down the middle of the fucking road.
Having his luggage ride in a car that he can pick up at the airport. And then he takes a bird bath in the sink. Like, if that was me, I'm still smelling like
I was
a horse. There's no way. Yes. So right off the bat, your main character is just a total piece of shit.
Yeah.
And that's Peter Neal. He's a horror author.
Yes, Peter. Yeah, our main character, Peter Neal, who's wrote a book called Tenebrae.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes into the airport and...
Well, the movie begins...
Oh, I was going to get to my second note, but you should go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, the movie opens with a person reading passages from his novel. The novel that was in Italian and tearing out pages and burning them. So right off the bat, Argento's letting the audience know, that there's somebody, a crazed fan out there,
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, when he's waiting in line and I wrote down a note, and then the question gets answered later on, so some of my notes are just like pointless. But
I hate it when that happens.
Yeah. And
I just have to scratch out the note.
Mine was, what was the point of moving the bag? Because he sets his bag down, and then somebody picks it up and they move it around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
And then they put the stuff in his bag.
Yeah, or switch the bags out. They switched the bags out, didn't
I don't know. I thought they just put shit in his bag.
they? Yeah.
Because then you have to believe that somebody out there has the exact the exact same bag as Peter Neal, and Peter Neal's a good name.
It is. It's a strong author name.
Yeah,
it really is. Yeah.
Yeah. So they nailed that. Good to them. We get our first victim though in a store, and she's still in a copy of Tenebrae.
Absolute gorgeous woman who's a book thief.
Yeah, who gets caught.
Why are all the beautiful women book thieves? It's crazy. Like, all of them.
Well, what's really crazy is she gets caught, and she essentially offers sex to get out of being arrested. And she's like, give me your address and I'll come see you. And this guy's like, okay.
No. She gives him her address.
Oh, her address. I'm sorry.
And the funny thing about that scene is, first off, he looks at her record, and she's been arrested 11 times shoplifting.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is, he gives her back the book. He slips it back in her bag. Yeah.
And she walks home. And she gets
She gets attacked by a homeless man.
Yeah.
And she kicks him in the nuts. And he gets mad at her for kicking him in the nuts, even though he assaulted her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we see him again because he pops up her back door, her sliding door.
He witnesses the first murder. or something to the effect of it. Yeah. But she gets home because it cuts to the airport immediately to Rome, and you're in a department store, and so you're kind of just it's kind of a jolt. You get introduced to Peter Neal, and then you're introduced to this character who, because this movie has a set list of victims that are essential to the plot, except this first one.
Yeah.
Unless I missed something.
No, I don't think you did. I think that the only thing that she did was she stole a copy of Tenebrae.
Yeah, she was wanting to read it
Yeah.
and prostitute herself.
Yeah. To get out of being arrested for a 12th time.
Yeah, but that kind of makes sense once you get. Here's another spoiler alert. There's two major twists to this movie. One minor, one fucking major. But that kind of makes sense when the first killer is revealed. Why he would target her.
I guess I missed something about the first killer then. So we're already putting it out there. So obviously there's two killers.
That aren't working together, mind you.
Yeah.
But I guess we'll get into that as we discuss.
So the first killer though, he kills her and he shoves pages in her mouth. Just shoving pages of fucking Tenebrae into her mouth.
With a straight razor in her throat.
Mm-hmm. And like you said, the kill itself, it's after watching New York Ripper, you're just like,
Not bad.
yeah.
I can watch this all day.
Right? So now that we got our first victim, the police come in contact with Peter Neal.
Well, Peter Neal's in Rome. He meets up with John Saxon, who is his publicist?
His agent.
His agent, that's right.
Because they had the agent in training, remember?
Yes. The young guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And John Saxon, he shows up looking handsome, and Peter Neal meets him, and they're old friends. And Saxon's wearing this. It's not a fedora. I don't know names of hats. It's way cooler than a fedora, but he's wearing it. Peter Neal mentions it, and John Saxon, he's like, "Yeah, I got it here in Rome." And then Saxon does this head thing.
Yeah.
Because Peter Neal's like, "Don't it fall off?" And Saxon's like, "No, look, it stays on. It's perfect." And it's so goddamn funny, and it's so just a moment of levity that does not exist anywhere else in this movie. Like, there's a lightness, and because, in my brief experience watching Giallo, there's no humor to it. None. I mean, here it is, John Saxon just wagging his head around, being like, "No, it stays on perfect. Look."
Yeah. Yeah, he's having the book signing. Or I think it was a book signing, right?
He's talking with some like book reviewers.
Oh, no, that's right. That's right, because it's the woman. And she hits him with some tougher questions. And he's like, wait, because he knew her.
He did.
And he's like, where's this coming from?
He, because they're sitting down like this lounge. It almost looks like an airport lounge. It might have been. And she's asking him questions about like his books being a little bit of misogynistic.
Sexist. Yeah, sexist.
Yeah, and he's kind of thrown off guard. He's like, and you could sort of tell they know each other. And I think they plan on meeting up later so where she can interview him for real.
Yeah.
But in Argento cuts, Peter Neal's kind of thrown off guard, and he's kind of taken aback, and he looks up at this man that's standing across from them where they're sitting, just standing against the wall, and this guy's sort of rolls his eyes and shrugs his shoulder. Now you're not introduced to this character, but the guy sort of like, like this woman, asking these questions. So Peter Neal, he says, well, we'll talk later, and
Yeah.
you could tell she was kind of having fun with him.
Did you get the feeling at any point when Peter Neal has these interactions with people about his books that they found deeper meaning in his books or deeper things than what he put in there? Because when she's talking about it, she's like, well, the books are sexist, they have these themes or whatever, and he's like, I just wrote a book about a killer. It is almost like people are deriving something deeper from it than what he intended.
You're probably right, because Argento, this, like we had discussed, this was like a retaliation to his critics. Like, Fulci might have hated women. Fulci probably did hate women. Let's be honest.
Fulci hated eyeballs.
And nipples and
yeah.
coochies. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Fulci hadn't seen a body part he didn't want to maim.
Jesus. Anyway, New York Ripper, check it out, people. Fucking toes and coochies. Oh, the movie has everything.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
Oh my god, that movie's
She likes it.
oh my god, that movie is a trip. God.
Oh,
I can't wait to show that to my daughter. Like that movie.
oh my
Like,
god.
baby, this is cinema.
Cinema.
This is high art. Oh, Daddy, what'd you rate it on Letterboxd? Well, I gave it 3 stars, baby. I thought it was pretty good. But, and then like this movie, Tenebrae, it's just, it kind of sort of throws you off a little bit when you're watching it, because this movie's filled with like beautiful Italian women.
Yeah.
Just all of these women are like just stunners. Because then we cut to, Peter Neal goes to his hotel room. I think we're introduced to the detective now and his partner. They tell him about the murder of the shoplifter. And, Peter Neal, this is your boilerplate movie stuff. And like, no, I don't know anything. I'll help you any way I can.
Yeah.
And then we cut to the interviewer, who's at it looks like kind of a fancy bar, but with pinball machines.
Well, I think we forgot something though. So when Peter Neal meets with the inspector, there's a letter
Yeah, there's a letter.
that's done in like ransom style, and it's a quote from his book. I can't remember the quote.
And so
Quality
Yeah.
podcast, and I bring something up and can't remember what the fucking notes. I should have wrote that down.
I wrote anything down. You didn't write anything down. No, but I'm joking. But
You're not far from the truth.
I don't have much here. But
I tried to do like how Daniel does when me and him record. He lets me write all the fucking notes, and then he's like, "Yeah, I just watched the movie."
when he used to be really good at taking notes, we used to take a minute to talk about Daniel's notes because they were very detailed. It's so funny though. Anne, who's Peter Neal's assistant, who was Argento's wife and muse, she co-wrote Suspiria, this movie, and Deep Red or Inferno. But his assistant was Argento's muse and wife. Anne asked the cop, she was like, Can I get you something to drink? Oh, I'm sorry, you're working. You don't drink. And then detective replies, I only drink on duty.
Yeah. He's
Like,
I'll take
holy shit.
I'll take
Take
a
a scotch. Straight up. And she doesn't bring him like a rocks glass of scotch. She brings him
No.
like a highball glass of
I
scotch.
know. I saw that too, and I'm just sitting there like, what is this glass?
Oh my god. But yeah, so now Peter Neal knows about the killer.
Detective Germani, that's his name.
Germani, yeah. Another striking individual in this movie. Just a face with angles.
Yeah, he has
You
a
know?
distinct look, for sure.
Yeah. And his partner looks just like fucking Anne, Peter Neal's assistant, Argento's wife. So it's very like confusing. So like I said, then we cut to the bar with the interviewer. And this bar has a pinball machine, which is occupied. And the pinball machine to the left of it is occupied. That's crazy, ain't it?
What was that?
Nothing.
I'm sorry. I was preparing for my next comment.
Yeah, you're just waiting for your chance to talk.
You were talking about pinball machines. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. Well, look, you just comment. I'm gonna take a break.
Oh my god. I'm gonna pause while you can just take a break. Oh man. Yeah, so Josh was talking about pinball machines. Good for him. Do. Where? There we go. All right, I'm going to pause it while Josh is doing this because I don't really have anything to talk about. When you watched the movie, did you watch with subtitles on?
I always watch
Okay.
movies, every movie with subtitles.
Me too. Yeah, usually. The agent in training, his name was Johnny, but did you notice how it was spelled?
No?
It was Gianni.
Wait, repeat that?
Gianni.
Gianni.
Yeah.
But his name was Johnny.
I think in the dub they kept calling him Johnny.
Yeah, he also had a British dub. But you know what? I think we missed something pretty important.
The car that drove off the road trying to avoid the inspector?
No, I missed that.
It was inconsequential.
Well, this was and wasn't. But no, maybe we didn't miss it. Because I think it's right after this scene. We get the beach scene.
Yeah, that's what I got. I was like, what is this beach scene? Or what is the scene on the beach?
Yeah, this the actress who played this female was transsexual. Born a man, became a woman, or homogenous? Is that the word I'm looking for?
Androgynous?
Androgynous, sorry. Yeah. Again, we shouldn't be. It's hard to talk about this movie, but mainly because my English is bad. Yeah. This movie cuts to this scene and doesn't answer it until way later. And it is so weird.
Well, what happened? You're talking about a scene that nobody knows what's going on. You got to set the table, so to speak.
Do you want to?
Yeah.
Yeah, you.
No, I mean, I want you to.
Okay, yeah. Well, you see this this young woman on the beach, and it feels like she's in like this cabana with these three other young guys. They look slightly younger than her, and they're not wearing shirts. And she gets up and she runs away from them. Then she turns around and she sort of shows them her tits, and then they follow her. And she's on her knees on the beach, and they come up to her, and she sort of turns around, still on her knees, and she sort of like hugs their legs, and it's obviously like a very sexual scene. And then this fourth guy comes up, and you can ever so slightly see her give him the thumbs down. You know,
Yeah.
it looks like an orgy between these
Yeah.
four people. He comes up, she gives him a thumbs down. He slaps her and then runs. Well, the other three guys chase him, and all this is shot like bottom point of view. Like you're not really seeing anything but like feet running and on the beach. They catch up to him, and the girl walks up to him, and she's wearing a white dress that's very loose fitting, and these bright red fucking heels. And I think she kicks him a couple of times. Then she puts the heel in his throat. And then it cuts back to the movie, to what's going on.
I thought it was in his mouth.
In his mouth, sorry. Yeah, in his mouth, his throat. And you're just left with that for like an hour. You're just left with this one scene on this beach that is... It's odd. Mm-hmm. It's, to say the least, it's an odd scene that you can only guess what it means later. I think we'll get there. When we get there, we'll talk about it. Do you have an idea what this scene meant?
No, not when I was first watching it. Like
In hindsight, like I think we both kind of think the same thing. We'll get to it, but it's kind of a jarring scene. Mm-hmm. Just in the first 20 minutes of this movie, you see this, and then it just dangles throughout the entire movie.
When did the hold on one sec. So, is it the lesbians that got killed next?
Yeah.
Yeah, because this was I won't say odd, but it was an interesting scene between these two characters. Because the one woman ends up meeting up with a dude, and she's like, "I'm gonna take him back to our place." And he's like, "Give me an hour." And then the other girl comes home, and she's like, they get to talking or whatever, and she's like, how was it or something like that, and she's like, "He was better than you ever was."
Well,
and it's like, spicy.
Yeah, but they're at this bar with this pinball machine. What I was talking about, like this is 1982. Like people were playing pinball. Like both these machines were occupied, and you could pull pussy playing pinball. you know? But so the interviewer and her girlfriend, she comes up and she's like, I'm going to take him home. And she kisses her. And right after that, a dude walks up to the interviewer. He's like, hey, I've got an hour. She's like, okay. Did you notice that? Yeah.
Now,
So,
what I did notice is that the other woman wore this top that barely
Yeah, and-
fucking covered her nipple, and you can see the top of it.
spoiler alert, it didn't. It was just dangling. It was just dangling like that beach scene. You know?
So how did he kill the two lesbians, Josh?
Well, they get into a fight when she comes home. And it's so funny, though, because, you know, like, you watch this movie, you don't. Joe Bob pointed it out, and it's in the wiki, so it's fair game. All of these houses are amazing. All of these apartments are amazing.
Yeah.
Everything in this movie, the cars, everything is amazing. And what Argento said was this movie is supposed to be 5 to 10 years in the future. And an apocalypse happened, but nobody remembers what the apocalypse was. So you have all this real estate that people can live in. And I don't know, it's sort of like this science fiction element that he added to it, but
That's nowhere present in the fucking movie.
that's nowhere present in the movie. But it's just an interesting thing because all of these, like, their apartment is amazing. Outside of the book thief, every location, like inside location, is fucking amazing. The killer's house is just absolutely gorgeous.
Oh yeah, he's got like when you say layer, he has a fucking layer.
He has a fucking lair, and he has like this basement that is just for killing folk, or trophy room for killing folk, I should say. But so this couple get into a fight, and one of them has like a downstairs room, and the one who picked up the pinball guy, she's got her upstairs bedroom. And so they get into a fight, and she's, you know. So the one that's downstairs, the one who is interviewing Peter Neal, is kind of upset. And so she's getting ready for bed, and she puts on this white t-shirt. And about that time, the killer appears, and there's this great fucking shot of her through the neck hole. You see her face. And just in this Argento style, the killer slashes her. And you just see this beautiful shot of this red blood just going everywhere. I mean, the movie has a lot of blood, but the gore isn't that severe.
There's a difference between gore and blood.
For some people not.
Yeah, there's a difference.
Again,
Blood is blood. Gore is like entrails.
not for everybody though. Certain people consider blood to be gore.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm sorry to interrupt you. You were so eloquently describing.
Oh, I hate it when I have to vamp. It's the worst.
No, you
I
were
do
doing a
not
good.
like it.
You were doing a good job.
Well, yeah. Well, she puts on, but you get this
you
great
don't like
shot.
it, but you always try to make me do it.
Vamp.
Yeah. You're just like, keep going. You got it.
Yeah. Well, maybe I'll stop because I know how much it sucks. But yeah, that and before this, you sort of get like this. Before this scene happens, you get this killer POV, and for whatever reason, Argento decides to spend 2 minutes on the roof. Because the POV goes from like one window to the other. And you're like, okay, this is pretty cool. It's like the one cool shot in Friday the 13th, you know?
Yeah.
And then like Argento goes up to the roof. And then you're just going across this Italian architecture in Rome for like 2 minutes. And I found myself clocking out, like about to pick up my phone. Like it's a very for me take you out of the film shot because it literally was like 2 minutes. But he kills her and the upstairs roommate. What happened? Like she goes down and she sees her girlfriend dead. Right, and she runs upstairs. But because her death ended up being the poster.
Oh,
this one chick.
Yeah.
Because her head goes through the window. Buddy slashes her. You know, I can't speak for all Giallo movies, but like with New York Ripper in this, they do love their straight razors or razor blades.
Mm-hmm.
It is a common motif. It feels like.
I've got it wrote down. And it's ahead. It's further on. Because at one point, the killer changes weapons. Where you think he changes weapons, but it just turns out that there was a second killer that was using a different weapon completely.
Well, no, he did change his weapon because he lost his straight razor.
Did he kill somebody with an axe?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I thought it was just the same person.
Because I guess Peter Neal's staying at an apartment, but it's like a hotel.
Yeah.
But he has to call this guy and says, "Hey, my hot water's not working." Which you see these hotel workers. Oh, no, it's very confusing. So the guy who Peter Neal calls to fix his hot water sends his daughter to fix it, and she's the one who ends up getting killed by the axe because he.
Yeah, she and with that one, her and the assistant Johnny go off together on his motorcycle.
I have it written in my notes because it looks like when they take off because they meet up and this movie is just all about fucking. Everybody is down to fuck because she gets on his little dirt bike and it's so funny because when I first saw it, and it would make sense because there's a note I have later to where he's wearing the helmet and she's on the back.
Yeah.
To where normally you'd give the girl the helmet and he just pops a wheelie.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's wearing a helmet and she's not. It's funny. It's just funny to see, like.
And then they later get into an argument about something.
Yeah.
And this is just a means to get her off the bike and by herself.
Mm-hmm.
And she gets chased by this fucking dog. It looks like a Rottweiler. And
Doberman.
Yeah, not Rottweiler, Doberman. I don't know why I said Rottweiler. Doberman. Yeah, it looks like a fucking Doberman. And I was just thinking about it because the dog is like just attacking this fence trying to get to her. And then you see the dog like, it's almost like a light bulb goes off and the dog's like, wait a minute, I might be able to climb this fence. And now all of a sudden this dog is taking fucking leaps at the fence and trying to climb up it. When we lived in Dallas, we had a dog that could climb a fence. And it just reminded me of that. Like the dog, you couldn't keep it in the backyard. You could put it in the backyard, but if it wanted to get out, it was just going to climb the fence and jump over. And that's what this fucking Doberman does here. Climbs this fence and chases this girl. This is a prolonged chase from the fucking dog, which catches her a few times and, hurts her.
Yeah.
Like, so it's not like she never gets caught. She gets caught and she gets away, and she gets caught and she gets away, and eventually she ends up at the killer's lair.
Mm-hmm. And she discovers because this killer, we forgot to mention, is taking pictures of his victims
Yeah.
after he kills them. And she finds the pictures, and what else does she find? Because she's stuffing her pockets
She's stuffing her pocket
with this
pictures.
evidence.
Yeah, pictures and I think letters.
Yeah, it might have been letters. Yeah, yeah, because he's got the ransom.
Yeah, because you see the individual
Yeah.
cutout spot, on the table.
And then she goes upstairs to this absolute beautiful apartment. It's got
Palace.
yes, these step ups, this furniture, everything just is. I don't know. It's just absolutely beautiful. And the killer comes home, and she gets away from inside the house, and she slams his hand through the screen door. And that's when he drops a straight razor,
Oh yeah.
and he uses the axe on her tummy. I know it's convenient for this random girl who Peter Neal met to die. It's also kind of thematic because throughout this movie, the detective and Peter Neal are talking about Sir Arthur Conan Doyle
Yeah.
and the Hounds of Bakersville. So a dog chasing her leads her here, and the dog's still trying to get in. It's funny because
Oh, yeah.
you think she's safe, and there are certain things that Argento does in this movie that are just very clever because you think it doesn't, why is he showing this? And then 2 minutes later, he'll show you why he's showing it. Because we see the killer pull up and he's wanting to pick up a hooker for his next victim.
Yeah.
And as he's in his car and you see his hand, it keeps cutting back to this door, this key dangling. And the killer, as he's about to get out to get his next victim, he touches his pocket and he realizes he left his keys in the door. And that's how the young girl gets inside. Right? Is that the scene?
Oh, yeah, because it's the basement
Yeah.
door or wherever.
Yeah.
Where the layer's at, and the key's in the door.
That's how she's able to escape because the dog's attacking her right outside the door.
Yeah.
And she's able to open it up. And that's just really cool that Argento's doing that. He's kind of showing you something. He'll explain it later. Don't worry. I don't know. You're getting something from these giallo movie that you just wouldn't get at a regular slasher movie,
Yeah.
But he gets her. He kills her with an axe to the stomach. And the next scene is you see him mowing his grass to mow the evidence away. And then he gets to the end of his yard and he just left the body there. Because you see the body.
Did you guess the killer?
Nope, I thought it was John Saxon.
I didn't guess it either. So I guess we can talk about it now because we're at that point. So Cristiano Berti, which was a TV interviewer.
The same guy that was... Peter Neal meets him a couple of times. He actually talks to him one time, and he sort of grills Peter Neal
Yeah.
on the violence in his novels, and Bertie's like, well, I'm a Roman Catholic, obviously,
Yeah.
but I believe in abortion or whatnot, but this is almost going too far. Yeah, I guess if you watch it the second time, it becomes a little more obvious.
Yeah, and it turns out that that's his house.
Yeah.
And so Peter Neal and Johnny go to watch the house, and I think,
Because Peter Neal figured it out.
yeah, Peter Neal. I can't. I'm trying to remember this. Doesn't he? Because he goes around back, right? And he leaves Johnny in the front. They get split up.
They get split up. Gianni goes to the window, like because
Well,
this house is
he tries to get closer to get a better view,
yeah.
and he witnesses Birdie getting hacked to death with an axe.
And he hears something, and the audience kind of hears it. You know, we got our subtitles on, like, but even then, because Argento, he's trying to confuse you. You're not really sure what you hear. But Birdie gets hacked. Johnny runs back to where Peter Neal's at, and Peter Neal's been hit over the head with a rock.
Mm-hmm. And hit pretty good. I mean, he's bleeding. Like
Yeah,
it's
he's
not
bleeding.
like it's not like he's like, oh, I got hit. There's no evidence. Like he got hit and he's bleeding.
Yeah, like concussion, probably needs stitches.
And this is at this point, though, like you said, you get a confession from Birdie saying, I killed them all.
Yeah, and as an audience member, you're kind of thrown for a loop. But that's the thing, though. Birdie didn't say it. Or did he say it?
No, he
I
did.
thought he didn't say it.
No, he confessed it to the attacker.
Okay, I thought the
'cause I
attacker
remember-
was saying that.
It was Birdie.
Okay.
Because this attacker, this is, as far as we know, this is this person's first kill.
See, even for me watching it, I didn't know it was his first kill at all. Like, you know, again, I was kind of dangling in the wind, like, wait, what? But comes to find out, Birdie was killing these people. And again, this is the reason why this movie's so hard to talk about, because we missed an interesting point in this movie that's just very subtle. Like the people who damaged Peter Neal's luggage at JFK airport is his ex-wife? Wife?
Yeah, so he
Who-
keeps seeing. Yeah, we didn't talk about that. So throughout the movie, he keeps seeing a person he believes is Jane, his ex. But he's like, no, she shouldn't be in Rome. But he's like, but I swear I just saw her. And, then,
And they call New York, and it goes to her answering machine. And
and it turns out after Birdie's killed, you see Jane again. Well, hold on, we're getting ahead of ourselves because after Birdie's killed, because Johnny witnesses the murder, he gets killed. He gets strangled.
well, he goes back because he knows he remembers something.
Yeah, he
That-
said that there was a clue there that would he missed
Yeah.
something, and there was a clue that he just overlooked, and so he went
Yeah.
back, and then he witnesses the killings. He goes back to the car, and then he gets strangled.
Yeah.
And then we find out though that it actually is Jane who's in Rome, and she's been seeing John Saxon's character Bulmer.
Which we, as an audience member, we never doubted her being in Rome
Yeah,
because we see her. I mean, in the camera, Argento shows you her like she is here in Rome. But you know nothing about the character. You know it's an ex. And yes, she's been seeing John Saxon's character. And this is where Argento he cheats a couple of times in this movie, you know?
yeah,
And one of those was Saxon's kill.
Yeah, and I messed up. Johnny got killed after Saxon because you're right. He goes back to the house.
Because the killer took the keys from the car.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. But yeah, Saxon or Bulmer is killed out in the wide fucking open.
Wide open. And he knows the killer.
Yeah, and nothing like nobody sees this. And it's
Yeah.
not like it's not like Suspiria when you have the scene where like the person, because I'm trying to remember, I think there was a person that died out in the open in Suspiria, but there wasn't anybody else out there.
No, it was at night. It
Yeah.
was literally just him.
Yeah. Whereas this, there's people like all around him.
Everywhere. Yeah.
And it's not like it's a subtle death. It's not like he just like stabbed him in the artery in his leg and kept on walking or something like that. You know, he was stabbing him like multiple times. And then,
And throughout this, I think right around the time of Saxon's death, you see the red-shoed lady again. Where it's like at a party, and you see her briefly, and then you see the killer come up and stab her in the stomach.
yeah.
And it flashes back to that a couple of times, and again, you're still not really sure. And finally, Jane calls Anne, Peter Neal's assistant, and she's like, "I'm in Rome." And again, she's telling Anne like, "Can you come? Can you help me? I feel like I'm two different people." Now that's supposed to make you think, oh, so she's the killer.
Yeah.
And so Anne's like, "I'm on my way." And this is the most famous scene in the movie. Now, we've skipped over a lot of shit to get here. But this movie's dense as fuck. It really is. Most famous scene in the movie. I think Tarantino said it's his favorite death scene in a horror movie. Because it is... There was a budget for blood, and it was all spent on this one death scene.
This was a holy shit moment for me.
Yeah, me too.
Go ahead and set the table. You're doing a good job.
Well, she's sitting there, you know, surprisingly in a modest apartment. Nice, but modest compared to everything else in this movie. Let me jump backwards a little bit.
Sure.
After Peter Neal gets a hit on his head, he goes back to where he's staying, and Anne's there, and they're telling him what happened, and then finally, like, Anne and Peter decide to, make whoopee for the first time. Apparently, they've been working together for a long time.
Yeah.
But before that, Peter Neal asked her, "Can you stay the night with me? I'll make the couch up. Just stay with me." She's like, "Of course." So they make the couch up. You know, they put sheets on the couch, make it into a bed. So Peter Neal and Anne sleep together. Well, it cuts to the next morning, Anne's sleeping on the couch.
Mm-hmm.
So Peter Neal and her made love and still made her sleep on the couch.
Yeah.
Because he's got Jimmy legs. I guess.
Yeah, it was pretty
It was so
up.
funny. Yeah. It's like, no, Argento, we don't think you hate women because you kill them. It's because you make them ride a motorcycle without a helmet and you still make them sleep on the couch.
Oh, you know what? I do want to jump back to something though. So the straight razor's found. Like after the killer's killed, the new killer finds a straight razor. Remember, because he breaks it.
Yeah, because you're cutting to these scenes of these like little white, almost like pearl handles. You know, like a not a pearl handle, but you know what, like a little pearl that would be on the handle of a razor blade, not or a knife or something. You know, just small little things. And Argento cuts to him, and yeah, because that plays a big part later on to the twist of this movie.
Let me. Well, no, I don't say that. Were you when with Jane? Did you think she was the killer at some point? I know you said the movie's trying to make you think that she's the killer, but did you think it?
No, I didn't.
Well, you're a smarter man than I am. Let me read you some of my notes here.
Okay.
I'll just start at the top of the page. Peter and his assistant hooked up. No one saw Bulmer killed in broad fucking daylight. 2 killers? Question mark. Johnny is dead. Is Jane the other killer? Question mark. I guess the fuck not.
It answers that pretty quickly.
Because we're here now, so we can talk about it. So you were talking
Yeah.
about the budget for the blood and everything. And yeah, it went into this one scene. Because Anne gets her fucking arm chopped off with an axe. And it is brutal. Like, it just gets cleaved the fuck off.
And it comes through the window with the axe. And they stage this so perfectly because then Jane, arm chopped off, backs up behind this this beautiful white wall, just so the blood is even more highlighted. Mm-hmm. And she paints this wall red.
She's bleeding everywhere.
Everywhere. And it is, the Italians used a certain color for their blood, the one that would pop on screen. Because, everything,
yeah.
You watch Suspiria, New York Ripper, no, but I think Argento, these colors are going to pop, and this is just, I don't think you can make a list of horror movie deaths and not include this, It's that good.
Yeah.
It's that good with this scene. So Jane dies in this beautiful cascade of blood. Why? Okay, so the detective, they get a note from who?
I don't remember.
You know what I'm talking about? Because they know. Because now they know to go to the house where Jane's at. Because Anne and the detective go. But first, you see a blonde walk in there. You think it's Anne. Because she told Jane she was on her way to come get her.
Yeah, and it's the other inspector.
Yeah. There's a reason why they look alike. You know.
Because, well, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying, she goes in there, and then she immediately gets an axe to the back.
And he says Jane. Not Jane.
Yeah.
Anne. He says Anne.
Anne.
Because he thought he'd killed Anne at first.
Yeah.
And then we went past the reveal of Peter Neal being the other killer, and you had talked about it. Like, he kills Jane, and then you find out that after learning about and I'm using aids to help jog my memory. So I got Wikipedia pulled up. But it turns out that the woman in the red shoes that you'd been seeing this whole time in these cuts is like a repressed memory of Peter Neal's.
Mm-hmm.
And she had humiliated him, and he killed her.
Yeah, they couldn't prove it. Yeah, I think the detective, I keep forgetting his name. Interpol had
Germani.
helped him. Germani. Interpol. Like, I didn't know they fucked with Rhode Island crime. Thought that was more of international. Like, yeah, because Peter Neal's from Rhode Island. International criminals. But, so, he goes in there, he kills the detective's partner. And then the detective, he. What happens to where Peter Neal picks up the razor blade?
He's
He just
surrounded.
has it.
Yeah, he's surrounded. Like they. So he's there, and it looks like a no-win situation for him, because and he slits his throat.
Well, here we we're just skipping all over this fucking movie. This movie's it's not good podcasting because Peter Neal decides to leave town. He's going to Paris.
Yeah,
And that's the cheat I was talking about that Argento does.
oh yeah.
Because he shows you a shot of a plane taking off.
Yeah,
You
because he
know.
told the inspector he was leaving.
He was leaving, yeah. So Peter Neal slits his throat, and Anne's watching the detective. The detective takes Anne to the car. Anne gets in the back seat, and then Germani tells her, "This is how I found out about Peter." And because they leave Peter on the ground, he's
Yeah.
going to call in backup from the car. He gets we'll call it a cop's intuition. Like, I know you can ask why the detective go back in there.
Yeah,
That I don't mind. I don't mind him going back in there. That's his case,
yeah,
go back in there. And there's this shot that Argento does that is just I've got it in my review. Logic be damned. It's beautiful. So the detective sees Peter Neal's body going. He goes to the razor blade. And he sees that it's dull. It can't cut anything. And then he sees where the white little pearl would be. It's red. And he presses it. And fake blood comes out. And he stands up. And right behind him is Peter Neal.
yeah.
Like, there's no logic for him to be right there, for him not to see him.
So my thing with that, I do want to, I guess, point out this part is with that razor when he picks it up. So I know that Peter Neal wasn't the killer of all the other people, but why would he have a gimmicked razor? If he wasn't the killer, I mean, like, we know he wasn't the killer originally, so why does he have this razor that pumps out blood, or this fake razor that pumps out blood? Like, where did he get that from? And that looks like a lot of blood when he cut his throat. That looked like more than what would be in that little blade.
Yeah, well, you got to suspend disbelief a little
Yeah.
bit. Why he had it, I mean, he kind of predicted it, didn't he?
How so?
I mean, because he needed it. It was perfect.
Oh, okay, never mind. Yeah.
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 And he honestly, Peter Neal's like, it says so at the end of the movie. He was educated at Yale. Pretty smart guy. Because he was able to pinpoint where the killer lived. That area. I mean, just by looking at a map and be like, okay, this is this and this and this. Pretty smart guy.
Oh yeah, he makes a point of telling Germani like he had guessed the killer a while back. Did you
Yeah.
did you guess Peter Neal is the second killer?
Oh God, no. I mean, shocked Pikachu face. Well, no, because Argento does this reveal after Jane is dead or dying, that you see these feet come into play, and then it's a slow pan up. Like at that point, it's like, oh, that's Peter Neal. Then
Yeah.
you know, I mean, there's no other male antagonists left besides Germani and Peter Neal.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, there's nobody else. So I mean, and they never gave like a red herring towards Germani at all. He seemed pretty straight laced outside of drinking on the job, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Aside from getting crunk. Fucking drinking scotch is why he's supposed to be working. Maybe if he wasn't sloshed, he would have figured out who the killer was sooner.
Nah, get sloshed, man. Make your partner drive. It's like, you know, it could have been like a Training Day situation.
That's probably why. That's probably
Like
why
she was Ethan Hawke.
Look, when she came in that door, it's probably because Germani was fucking drunk and couldn't make it in first. He's like, "You go on in." See
Oh, I'm sure he chose to ride with Anne because it gave him like 5 more minutes to like just down some more fucking alcohol.
right.
It made Anne drive. But yeah, and so Anne, who's still in the cop car.
Well, you skipped the inspector's death.
Well, yeah, he stabs him in the back with the axe. You know, he's right behind him, and which sucked. I like Germani.
Yeah.
I wanted him to live, but this is a pretty hardcore movie. There is only one person that we're introduced to that lives,
Yeah.
you know, and Anne decides she's in the back of this, not even cop car. These people are driving like fucking sports cars. I don't know if you saw these Italian cars. They're all just, they look like knockoff Lamborghinis.
Yeah.
You know, not Lamborghinis, but these cars are fucking slick. She decides to go in, and Argento shows you this sculpture a couple of times. It's in the background, and you notice it. It catches your eye because it's so distinct. And the sculpture, because art is stupid, it's just spikes, you know?
Right.
And it gets pushed up against the wall, doesn't it?
It's wedged up against like the door, and she's trying to open it.
Yeah. She's trying to open it. And Peter's in between a wall and the sculpture. And she finally opens the door, and one of these pieces just goes straight through Peter Neal.
Yep.
Go ahead.
That's what I got as my note. It's like Peter's killed by happenstance.
Yep. And the beautiful thing about this is that the sculpture was like metal and circular. Mm-hmm. So it goes through Peter, stays in him. And because it's circular and there's blood, he can't grip it to pull it out. And you just see him sort of like it's slipping. He can't pull it out. Not that probably would have
Saved
done
blood.
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's this nice touch that Argento does. And I think Argento ends it there, don't he?
Yeah, you just like the last shot. It's just Anne in the rain screaming,
Yeah.
and it's done because there's nothing else to tell after the story's done, man.
Yeah.
You know, people died. One person got their arm chopped the fuck off. You know, fucking
beautiful.
glorious scene. And I was like you when I was watching it. I was, you know, kind of like, yeah, this is. After watching New York Ripper, you're just kind of like, yeah, this is easy. This is fine. Until you see that arm. That arm was a good scene.
Yeah, it was the money shot of this movie, you know. It didn't make the movie, but it added to it, if that makes sense, you know?
Yeah.
Like this movie wasn't gonna live or die on that scene, but that scene was memorable. This movie's memorable.
Oh,
Uh,
what'd you give it?
well, I'm just gonna do a brief rundown on what I wrote, but this movie plays like a horror novel Peter Neal would have wrote.
Yeah.
It's kind of it, he, I don't know. I didn't expect when I went into this movie. I didn't expect this movie to have that kind of layer to it. And you know, like in my notes, I put this isn't as visually striking as Suspiria, which is just a beautiful movie. It doesn't suffer from it, and Argento. I mean, some of the shots in this movie. I mean, we didn't even cover half of them. Are just beautiful. You know, that shot with Neil and the detective. It's just logic be damned. It, you know,
Yeah.
so fucking good. But it coming off New York Ripper, this is Hindu cow tame, you know. 4 stars. Josh Lindsay says, check it out.
And Josh Lindsay, whoa, borrowing from everybody now.
Well, I did tell you that I watched the last drive-in of this, so
Yeah, like I didn't guess who the killer was. I didn't guess who the second killer was. It got me. It was I liked the back half of the movie more than the first half. I think the first half, you know, it kind of moved along at a slower pace, and then the back half it really picks up. I enjoyed it and had a good time with it. Not as much as you. I gave it like 3.5.
I've heard from Giallo fans and whatever that this was Argento's last really good movie.
You know, wasn't Opera 85?
I don't know. We have the internet. We could find out.
Good. Did you find it yet?
No, not yet.
Wow, you're taking forever.
I know.
Opera.
Well, I'm looking up Argento. I guess I could look up opera, but I'm sure.
In the arts and entertainment. And here we go. Other uses. Oh, it's a 1987 horror film. I haven't seen all of Opera, but like, you'll love this. In Opera, the killer tapes needles to the eyes.
Jesus.
So like every time they blink, it rips their eyelids.
Lord.
That's your big thing, isn't it? Eye trauma. Josh loves it.
I've said it before, like that one death scene in New York Ripper. And I watched the movie twice. Covered my eyes. Entire thing. Couldn't do it. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I loved the double killer in this. I love how they wasn't connected.
Yeah.
you know, I don't know. I think this movie is probably best served rewatching it because there's things in it. I think Argento. I mean,
I just thought about something too. Like, remember when, and we were talking about it earlier, but the woman was grilling him about the killings and saying they were sexist and everything, and he was like, I don't see what you're talking about, and I was like, maybe they're getting a deeper meaning from this than what he intended, and now I'm just like, well, maybe he put a deeper meaning in there that he didn't intend because, he had these repressed memories of
oh yeah,
killing this girl. Maybe he was intentionally writing brutal death scenes for women because of that.
yeah, of course,
I'm smart.
yeah. But I think this movie's smart. I do, I do. This was a good one. It was.
That's a good pick, Josh. And I think I am almost positive now that Deep Red's going to be our last one.
Let's do it. Deep Red. When
I think it was 75.
75, it was right before Suspiria. Yeah. It's higher. You don't have IMDb pulled up, do you?
No, I don't.
Okay, guess what Deep Red is on IMDb?
8.1,
Lower.
7.6.
7.5. What do you think Suspiria is? Which is considered his masterpiece.
7.3.
Yep.
I had read that, like, I was just reading, like, the reception about Deep Red, and, like, Deep Red's been referred to as, like, the ultimate Giallo.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What do you think Tenebrae is?
7.1.
7. Pretty close. You got pretty close there.
Just a guessing machine.
So we got 2 Argentos when this ends and 1 Fulci.
Yeah.
So when we come back around to Giallo, I guess we got to do Bava.
Mm-hmm.
Probably need to do Bava.
Yep.
Probably need another Fulci.
Mm-hmm.
Just to suffer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we'll get around to, goddamn, like Inferno or something, you know?
Yeah.
Got to do another Argento.
Yep. All right. So, well, everyone, that was Tenebrae, sort of. Probably not our best outing.
No, I mean, if you're sticking around and you're hearing this, then thanks, Mitchell.
Thanks. Yeah, for those of y'all that are watching, listening, we do got one viewer on Twitch right now. We do appreciate y'all listening. We'll hope you join us again next time when we discuss Deep Red.
Yeah. Ciao.
All right.
Since
See-
we're fucking talking about Giallos, might as well say ciao.
Was it? Did they said ciao in the movie, didn't they? Because didn't they also say arrivederci?
Yeah, they did say Arrivederci.
And he's like, "What's that?" All right, everyone. Thank you for listening. We'll see you next time. Do, 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 do.
I'll go pee right quick. I'm gonna get off soon, but not now. Let me go pee.
Yeah, while you're doing that, I'm gonna prep some food. You got to unmute yourself.
Yeah, have you seen the trailer to Furiosa?
I did. I didn't realize they were making a prequel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought we was gonna get more Charlize Theron.
Yeah. But
Instead, we got the new It girl.
yeah. Well, her and Jenny Ortega. But Anna Taylor-Joy probably ain't doing fucking Netflix shows. So I guess that makes her more of an It girl.
Remember when it was Jennifer Lawrence? Used to be in everything.
And I like Jennifer Lawrence. I've heard her new movie, which is a comedy's not bad.
She shows it all.
I think I did hear that, yeah.
That scene on the beach, she's butt ass naked.
Okay.
I Googled it.
Nice.
Yeah, nice.
Did you watch Mother?
No.
Oh, you got to see Mother. Mother is.
Last night I watched the movie by myself, and I ended up rewatching the movie. I watched Them again because I love that movie.
Is that the ants?
Yes. It'd been a minute since I've seen it, and I was like, fuck it, I'm going to watch it. And I told Chris, whenever we go back to like doing a horror movie, because he's like, well, how's, because I told you he wanted to podcast with you.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to be on an episode with you. And he didn't get to do it. Because, I mean, he's off on Sundays and Mondays, and I'm not.
Yeah.
But I told him that like I said, you wanted to possibly jump in with us when we watch the movie. And so when we watch a horror movie, we'll holler at you.
Yeah, the Rambo movies.
Yeah, we're doing that mainly.
I like them, but
Hold on, let me end the stream because we're just no, I guess we could talk about whatever. The Rambo movies are for Gray. He wasn't that big on like Mission Impossible. He watched, I think not the last one, but the last one that isn't the new one, Fallout. Which also I didn't bring this up yesterday when we were talking about this, but there was one thing I did notice about the last three movies. In every one of them, they said the title of the movie.
yeah, because it's kind of like the mission.
Yeah.
Wait, they actually said Rogue Nation?
They did. They said they made like a Rogue Nation. They said Rogue Nation. They said Fallout. They said Ghost Protocol.
I didn't.
Now
Ghost Protocol makes sense.
Now
Yeah.
you got to go back and watch them and find out where they say it.
Yeah, it's like we were talking about yesterday. They are worthy of just binging back and forth. You need to watch part 2 now.
I know. That's what I said. I need to watch part 2 so I can be mad at
'Cause-
myself.
Because John Woo made it. He's got a new American movie coming out.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say, did I?
I'm waiting to see how they're going to say Dead Reckoning Part 1 and then Dead Reckoning Part 2.
If they manage to squeeze part 1, Dead Reckoning Part 1, in there somewhere, I mean, standing ovation.
You're right.
It is funny though because, I think it's only fair if you critique Mission Impossible the same that, you know, other characters in movies, because Tom Cruise is a Mary Sue.
Oh yeah, he's a. I was thinking about that the other day. He's a Doc Savage.
Yeah, did you see him when he drew? Like, he had to draw in, like, I think, Ghost Protocol.
Yeah.
And he drew it perfectly.
Yep.
Like,
They're able to identify people from his drawings.
yes.
No, I saw that.
Yeah, that's... I don't know.
Man, you know what else you get with Mission Impossible 2?
Thady Newton
Limp Biscuit, baby.
and Metallica.
Yeah, but that Metallica song is not near as horrendous as that Limp Bizkit song.
I forgot Limp Bizkit did a song for that.
Yeah. Now I know why you want to hate me.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, it was bad. And it comes on Sirius XM every now and then too. It's like, no, not on my watch.
You know, David Fincher took Fred Durst under his wing as a director?
No. Why?
I don't know. Like, I love David Fincher. That's hard to swallow. But did you ever, I know you never watched it, but have you ever heard of the Fred Durst directed movie Fanatic?
No. I have not.
You need to Google it. It's got John Travolta in it, who plays a mentally handicapped man named Moose, who's obsessed with Devon Sawa, who plays an action star. All of this is real, man. What I'm telling you. Like, this is real. And you're ignoring me.
No, I'm listening to you. This is a Fred Durst movie?
Yeah, Fanatic. John Travolta.
Hold on. Now I gotta look this up.
We watched it. Me and Honolulu watched it over at Daniel Courtney's.
I knew you was a fucking Fred Durst fan. You piece of shit.
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
I heard about this. And I had to watch it because I heard it was just god fucking awful. And it is. John Travolta.
2019 movie.
Yeah.
Directed and co-written by Fred Durst. Reception. Rotten Tomatoes holds a 14%. Devon Sawa just... Man, I just, like, how much of a budget did this movie have? Dude, did you see the box office it made?
$30?
You're not far from being right. 3,153. It said the Fanatic earned $3,153 from 52 theaters in the U.S. on its opening day, making it a box office failure.
52 theaters. $3,000.
It's one from each state. The film was nominated for 3 Golden Raspberry Awards: Worst Picture, Worst Director, and Worst Actor.
Worst. What's the first one?
Worst Picture.
Worst picture. Okay, yeah. You just look up the trailer now. I wish you could share the screen. Ain't nobody watching, and just watch the Fanatic trailer.
Well, nobody will be able to hear it. That's the only thing.
Why not?
Because it's pulling audio.
Because it's clean feed? No,
No,
that's
not
only
'cause-
for us recording.
Not because it's clean feed, but because I'm streaming Discord, the app itself. I think, or am I streaming my screen? I don't know. We'll try. Let's see.
How many people are watching still? Nobody?
Uno. Let's. Whoops. I can't see you now. Ah, where'd my screen go? Damn it. There it is. So I'm going to pull this over here. I'm going to cover my face so we can keep your face up. Go to YouTube. Did you ever check out Dr. Wolfula?
Yeah. Briefly.
Didn't
Not
care?
bad.
Oh.
No, I don't want to say I didn't care for it, but I wanted to hear his thoughts on Scream 6.
The Fanatic trailer. John Travolta. It's got 1.6
Come back
million
and
views.
watch football all season long,
Yeah.
live and cable free with YouTube TV. Terms apply. Cancel anytime.
Here we go.
Wait, I'm not seeing nothing.
Are you? You got to be watching my Twitch stream.
Well, I wouldn't be able to hear the audio, would I?
I don't know.
Is Hunter Dunbar here tonight?
That's enough.
I need to get an autograph. Don't let him do this to me. I'm a fan. I'm a #1 fan. Is it difficult to find famous people's houses?
I use my Star Map app. You have to be careful. I don't want you to be accused of stalking.
Hey, you can't just come to my private residence looking for me. Listen, pal, I don't know how you found me, but I don't ever want to see you in this neighborhood again.
I just wanted an autograph.
Wait! Out of your mind?
No, it's it's classic.
Can't believe you just had me watch that. It's like a minute and a half I'll never get back in my life.
Well, I watched the movie. How do you think I feel?
Well, ugh. I wonder if we're allowed to watch movie trailers and just do reaction videos. Interesting. All right, I'm going to go ahead and end the Twitch stream. My food just got done.
All right, buddy.